Hello, and welcome to another podcast with Raf Garcia. And today's topic, what's it like being a massage therapist? I'm often asked this question with plenty of skepticism. I mean, a lot of people don't know what to think when you are a massage therapist. In fact, I've even had people ask me if at work I just spend all day getting massage. Of course, that's the exact opposite. We're like any other profession. We're working, not necessarily even getting the service, which I'll talk about later on in this podcast. For this installment, it's just going to be me, Raf Garcia, but I plan to do another installment with a few other therapists just to get their perception on it, get a conversation going around it, just so you're not thinking that this is the end-all, be-all of being a massage therapist. Of course it's not, and I highly recommend you, before you go to massage school, talk to a few different therapists, talk to a few different sources, see if it really is for you. So let's actually start talking about the schooling here a little bit. I went to a school called the Arizona School of Massage Therapy. I attended both their Master Bodyworker program and their professional program. I thought they were wonderful programs. I really did. I got a lot out of them. There's a lot of pieces to it that I don't use. That's okay, because those programs are meant to create well-rounded therapists. And if you want to take a path in a certain direction, you can do that. One thing, though, that I like to point out to a lot of people looking to get into massage is the different incomes that they'll throw out at you, the different numbers that they're going to throw out at you. They might throw something like $100,000 out. And of course, from state to state, from therapist to therapist, it's going to vary. But this kind of number right here is a big gimmicky number. Keep in mind that, like anything, what you put in, you get out with massage. So if you're not putting in the work, you're not going to get the pay for it. That's a huge, huge thing. But realistically, living in Arizona here, we might expect an income from anywhere from $25,000 to $45,000. I know that's a pretty big range right there, but like I said, what you put in is what you get out. And of course, we can also vary from the prices that we charge to if we accept insurance to if we're working for a company. It starts to change things around for you. But schooling, let's get back to that topic. I mean, I was lucky enough to teach at a school, so it's a really big passion of mine to have a really sound education. Keep in mind, as you're going through massage school, as you're really going through any institute, unless they're printing off and showing you studies that are being done right now in this very time, the curriculum is probably being pushed out of date. In fact, I read somewhere once, I know, real credible source, I read it once, but I once read that there was almost a 40-year gap in between our modern research and what was being taught in schools. So that being said, don't deny everything that you learn in school. There's a lot of sound truth to it, but continually compact knowledge. Continually look up and cross-reference what you're learning in school. Question everything, of course, but keep it to a point where you're going to learn from those questions. As you're going through school, keep in mind, everybody else there, in a sense, is your competition. Sure, you can foster a community around them, but everybody there is your competition. The biggest thing about that really isn't trying to put other people down, but get away from the losers. Get away from the people that are getting into massage school because they think it's going to be easy. Get that virus away from you. It's going to absolutely destroy the experience of massage, and you're going to miss the whole point during school. I've seen it happen so many different times. Those people right there, and you've seen them before. I mean, you sat next to that kid in high school who didn't care. He's the same person now. He's just older and can get a loan and spend it on massage school. That's literally the only difference. Other than that, I will say that during my time in massage school, there was a lot more science than I thought there was going to be. A lot more. And that's not a bad thing. It really isn't. My eyes were open to the beauty of the human body through the study of science. They're actually taking the time to go through 6 different levels of anatomy, and don't let that scare you. It's like 6 different introductory levels to anatomy. You're really not getting really in-depth like doctor status, but I have been told before that our knowledge of the musculature of the body is actually rather impressive. So be prepared for that. You will spend some time going through anatomy and studying like there is no tomorrow. And of course, there's plenty of hands-on time, at least at the school that I went to. That being said, there's certain boundaries that have to be respected at all times. You're going to be getting disrobed with classmates? Possibly. I have heard of some schools out there. Well, they did not get disrobed at any point. They actually just worked on the public. The school I went to worked on the public and worked on each other to get a lot of that different feedback. That being said, do not mess around. This is not a time to mess around. There are no jokes when it comes to massage school. You're going to get really close with people, and you're going to feel like a family, and you're going to feel that need to joke, but you always have to give that piece of professionalism. But your instructors will talk more about that during massage school. Overall, I loved it. I became a better person, a bigger person by going through massage school. But really, it was a growing up phase. I assume that any school, any institute that you go through and you have to kind of run the gauntlet, you're going to feel that growth from. You're going to feel that achievement and victory from. But what's it like in a typical day? What's it like in my typical day? Well, I have a couple of typical days. I work for a chiropractor, and I also own my own business. So on a day that I am working for the chiropractor, it's just as wonderful. I shouldn't say just as wonderful. It comes close. It's a close second. But just as wonderful as working for myself. I get to help people, I get to meet people, and I get to be in a well-established environment. I get started pretty early, around 9:15, and I'll see patients. In this clinic, we'll call them patients. Most of the time, you'll call them clients. But I'll see patients up until about 2 o'clock. Pretty short day. I'm only working for about 5 hours at that clinic with a pay of about $15 an hour. Now that is a very different number from what you'll be making if you're owning your own business and setting your own prices. I do not recommend that you set your price at $15 an hour. There's a lot of work that you have to go through, and you'll see as you get through it. Push it up just a little bit. You deserve it. But while working for a chiropractor and being able to have somebody provide a laundry service, a front desk personnel to book my sessions for me, a maintenance person to clean the clinic and fix everything, and of course somebody to consult throughout the day, these all kind of start to pinch away at your side of the payment, which is totally fine. That's a lot of stress that you don't have to deal with, and you're still making $15 an hour, very respectable pay, even here in Arizona. Now that being said, on a typical day of my own business, I still might start that early. Heck, I might even start earlier than that. Don't kid yourself. Owning your own business is a lot of work, maybe even double the work of working for somebody else. But the achievement, the feeling of gratitude, and that empowered feeling that you get is amazing. I see a lot of different clientele all over the place. I'm seeing people in home, I'm going to events, I'm helping out with races. All different types of things are going on, and it's exciting, it's new, it's constantly keeping me fresh. I'm my own boss. I set my own rules. And now a lot of people will ask me, isn't owning your own business kind of a risky thing? Like, isn't it kind of all on you? Yeah, and I love it. I love that it's all on me. Let's talk about having some risky business just real quick. Income. Of course we like security in our income, and a lot of the time in our modern society that leads us to believe that we should work for somebody else because we're going to have that security. We're going to have that constant schedule, right? That very even paycheck. When you think about it, as a massage therapist, you can begin to diversify your income, not just with massage therapy, but let's say you build a website and you sell ad space on that website. Let's say you get another license beyond your massage license, so you can sell scrubs or other things that are massage related. And on top of that, you start some kind of networking as well. Well, of course, you're not just basing your income on just body work at that point. You have internet sales and all sorts of different things. So it's not just one source. Well, if you're working for somebody, that is your one source. You have one person who can decide whether or not you're going to make that paycheck. And if they decide, no, you're not going to, then you're kind of up creek. Well, let's say even as a massage therapist, if I were to injure myself, I'm still making sales and still making money elsewhere. I'm totally in charge of it, and I'm totally capable to be in charge of it. And that's the attitude you should have as well. Like I said before, though, owning your own business is no cakewalk. There's a lot of work to it. I once heard somebody say for every hour of massage you do, you can expect to do an hour of non-pay. Basically marketing or building some part of your business in some fashion. And even beyond that, it might be even more than that. I've heard of people building their business 40 hours a week, making that a full-time job. And that's not even the business part to it. That's just the building of it, helping it out. The worst thing you can do as a massage therapist owning your own business is to take the whole day off. No, I'm just kidding. You can take the day off sometimes. You really deserve it. But what I'm trying to say is if you have all your clients cancel that day, don't look at it as an opportunity to take the day off. No, you then have to take that time and really push for a lot of different marketing. Let's move on though. What do I charge for a massage? Now that we're talking about the day-to-day grind anyways, I charge $40 for an hour. This here is a little on the low side when it comes to Arizona. Why I do this is I'm trying to introduce all different people to massage, particularly those with a lower income or those who don't think that the price is worth it. I would like to show them that you can have a fantastic experience with massage without having that big cost to it. Eventually, I would like to take those clients and show them all different types of therapy and all different types of therapists to really diversify their health and just how they're maintaining it. Other therapists may charge $60 to $100 a session. Now, if you're charging more and more, of course that means that you have to have more and more training behind you, more and more experience. In due time, you will get that kind of masterful sense of your craft. Don't ever stop growing. Always grow. Always crave knowledge, and you will reap the benefits from it. That being said, what are my beliefs when it comes to this? Why am I always growing? Or why should I always grow? Don't you just kind of learn one basic massage and that's it? That's really, really not it. The belief of being a massage therapist, you can't do it for the money, you have to do it for the people. You have to start from that place within, or you're not going to produce the results that you want. You have to love what you do. You have to wake up ready and excited to do it. You can't have your thoughts against you. You can't have that pain in your session. If you do, figure out why and fix it. Get around it. My belief is that everybody should have therapeutic touch. Everybody should be mobile, have pain-free mobility. And it's that belief right there that gets me out of bed every morning and gets me working on clients. I got to experience something with my father quite some time ago when he was in an accident, and it basically left him pretty crippled. He had herniated a couple of discs and he had shooting pain going throughout most of his body. And of course arthritis had affected his entire spine as well. So seeing that and all the different doctors he had to see during that time really affected me. It showed me that a lot of the populace, even as health conscious as they want to be, are not aware of some of the steps to take to recover from an injury or even manage an injury. You have to believe that the client deserves love. You have to believe that they deserve to be cared about, no matter how grumpy they are. You don't know how many times at the chiropractor or even in my own practice, I'll come along somebody who's in so much pain that every word that comes out of their mouth sounds just full of hate. It sounds angry and it sounds almost scary. Now this, you can't shy away from this. You can't look at this as being a bad person, and you certainly can't look at it as they don't deserve love. They deserve more love, or they need more love than anybody else. You really, really should work through it to put it past you. Just get over yourself. And I'd actually like to talk about pet peeves right now. I have a lot of therapists out there who will talk about the different pet peeves throughout a session. Whether it be, I hate when a client is still wearing a necklace during a massage, or I hate when a client does this, or man, I sure hate when this happens. Please keep in mind, as you go throughout the field, as you go throughout your experience with massage, you are a true professional, and you represent every other therapist out there every time you do something. You are not allowed to have pet peeves. You just can't. You have to set aside anything that annoys you, and you have to remember, this is the client. You love this person, platonically of course, And of course, there's a line that cannot be crossed. You have boundaries set up. But this is a person that you love, and this is a person that you are going to accept. If you have a pet peeve in the way, it is truly going to stop the work from happening. Sure, you might get some blood flow to an area. It might feel a little better. Sure. But to get that true existential experience from the massage, you are going to truly miss it in a huge way. You must show up ready to give. Giving everything you have. In fact, losing yourself in a service is the best way to find yourself. Turn off the thoughts. Turn off the negative talk. Become an empty glass and simply work for the client. You'll be amazed at how you feel. You'll be amazed at the kind of impact you know that you're making. Now, that being said, for my massage therapist friends out there who don't turn off the mind, they have their own thoughts, they kind of have their own dialogue going on. Maybe they're thinking about what they're going to be doing later, what's for dinner, what's going to be on TV. They're distracted, they're not focused on body mechanics or the client. This person might actually begin to hate doing massage therapy. I've seen it a lot of times before. In fact, we can even look at a 2 to 7 year span for massage therapists. I've even heard as low as 2 to 3 year span for massage therapists, because they get burnt out, because they're not engaging with the client, because they're not being creative in their sessions. They're doing the same massage over and over with poor body mechanics, with poor thoughts, and of course it's creating repetitive stress injuries and chronic injuries as well. To not get into this burnt out kind of state, or to get yourself out of it, I'm not saying you can't get in it. I've even been there once or twice. But to get out of it, you have to keep the mind fresh. You have to keep the technique fresh. You have to continue to grow, and you have to remember that every person that you meet is different, and there's something to learn from them. Every person is a teacher. I went to the Master Body Worker program, and it cracked me up when I left that program because I felt like I didn't know anything, and it's called the Master Body Worker. I will never call myself a master of massage therapy. I sincerely believe that you can't ever master the skill. You can only add to it. You can only achieve more or even create different pathways of it. I'm a big Bruce Lee fan. I'm a huge Bruce Lee fan. Within his philosophies, within his styles of martial arts, you would never teach it the same way twice, or you would never have the same stagnant type of style. You're always changing. You're always flowing. Stagnant water breeds disease. Don't become stagnant. Always flow and always change with what's going on. I hope you enjoyed our short talk on what's it like being a massage therapist. Again, keep your eye open for our next installment of this. We're going to have a few different therapists on, and we're going to be able to get their perspective on what's it like to be a massage therapist. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful evening.